Well, on behalf of Rowan, thank you for having us. And this is Rowan University's strategy for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm Sarah Moschini.
I'm Carmela Apostle. I'm Emily Gizzi.
And I'm Drew Levin.
Today we'll be discussing the Jacksonville Jaguars and how we believe they can implement immersive strategies to further their growth. We will discuss recommendations, segmentations, implementations, and costs. The Jacksonville Jaguars have faced several issues in the past 5 years, including slowing attendance rates, disappointed fans, and as of recently, COVID-19 restrictions. To come back from these, we suggest engaging activities for fans, local connections and entertainment opportunities, and modernizing the atmosphere. So recently, the NFL has partnered with different sports gambling companies like FanDuel, DraftKings, and Caesars. These partnerships have shown their value for, as this year's sponsorship revenue is already projected to increase by 23%. And we believe by continuing to build on top of these partnerships, it will help the Jaguars increase their revenue. The Jacksonville's biggest weakness is their issue with fan participation and attendance. The ticket office reported less than 90% of seats being filled during the 21-22 season. And additionally, the game attendance throughout the whole NFL was about 66,000 people. It's a major issue for the Jaguars, especially because they're ranked at 29th out of 32 teams. Based on this, we can assume that they are on the lower part of that average fan attendance. As far as opportunities go, the first opportunity is the recently proposed Synergy Field. We believe this is not only an opportunity for the Jaguars, but also the city of Jacksonville, as they are a major stakeholder. The proposed facility will help to limit the amount of competition the Jaguars face from local consumers, as well as the city to utilize the venue for other forms of entertainment like music concerts. And the main threat that we found was the lasting effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. These effects can really impact the number of fans that feel comfortable going into the stadium and limit the number of immunocompromised fans as well. Regardless of the lack of guidelines and safety restrictions from the state of Florida itself, if fans don't feel comfortable in the stadium, they won't attend the games. Additionally, a major threat to the Jaguars is the vocal dissatisfaction from their fans. Recently, fans have taken to social media and expressed their frustration with the team inability to create change in their performance. This type of organized attack is a major threat to the team, as it could lead to the loss of sponsorship deals and an extreme decrease in fan equity. And lastly, the unique city-county geopolitical setup is a threat because of the low population of the Jacksonville area, and this automatically makes the Jacksonville area a smaller market and prevents a huge revenue issue.
And next, I wanted to talk to you about segmentation for a minute, starting with fan base. Fans come from all walks of life, linked together by common needs, and socioeconomic status affects their ability to participate. So what we have in front of you here is broken down into 4 different groups: legacies and big fish. These are season ticket holders who have a higher economic status. They're going to stick around for a while. You don't need to focus too much on them. Next, we have socially oriented fans. These are fans who are more interested in the bigger games. They're willing to put out a little bit of money, but they're not really concerned about where they're sitting or necessarily the outcome. But both of these fan bases, you are going to see stick around. You don't need to focus a huge effort on them. Next, we have fan by association and potential fans. These are 2 smaller markets in the Jacksonville community. They, kind of watch games when it's convenient. They're a little indifferent, and they're more focused on the atmosphere or maybe the non-football related events at the game. So you're going to want to focus your marketing efforts there. Then you want to focus on your current market segmentation. That's geographic, psychographic, demographic, and behavioral. Geographic, it's just kind of where they are. Demographic, who they are, what attributes make them or group them together. Psychographic, why, what's their motivation, and behavioral, observable actions. So performing qualitative data collection analysis, as well as conducting secondary research in this segmentation, is crucial for understanding any potential growth in the current market. Next, you want to talk about your target market and positioning. To better position yourself in your target market, perform qualitative data collection and conduct primary research, then analyze your findings. Primary research is kind of focus groups, surveys, things along that nature.
And then this brings us to our 3 recommendations. We broke them down into 3 big ones, and I will first discuss our fully immersive fan experience. And the main goal here is to offer more to attendees than just a regular football game. Next, Emily will talk about incorporating high schools and bringing those fan bases in. And then Drew will finish it off with discussing the overall atmosphere within the stadium and how it can be improved to meet a wider array of attendees. And so, as I said, I'll first speak on our fully immersive experience, and it is more than just a football game. So this is designed to help appeal to a wider audience and create the feeling that attending a Jaguars game is more than just going to watch the football game. So our ideal appeals mostly to children to pique their interest starting at a young age, and included are also ways to target adults as well. So the kids zone would be for kids under 14, and this would include a flag football field, a 40-yard dash, a rock climbing wall, and a football target challenge. And then to appeal to adults, we recommend adding sitting and standing areas around the stadium, incorporating local eateries around the stadium, and promoting theme and food game specials that are native to Florida. And lastly, to tie in the immersive experience, we would introduce the Jaguars fan app. And this app would include wait times around the stadium, player stats, food venue menus, and access to the 50-50 raffle. And this is our recommended layout. Ideally, the kids zone would be constructed in the north end, and the adult targeted ideas would be implemented on the south end, where the Bud Light party zone already does exist.
The main goal of the second recommendation is to incorporate high schools, and this is to provide a personable halftime show for the local fans as well as the high schoolers as well. This will provide an opportunity for high school marching bands to perform on a grander scale, and who will be provided the opportunity to perform. It'll be the winners of the previous year's FMBC competition, which this also creates further motivation for high school marching bands to get involved within their marching bands and their local communities. What is the FMBC? It is the Florida Marching Band Championship, which is a competitive marching band event where schools are scored off of technical skills, growth, expressive achievement. And overall, by implementing this recommendation, it'll increase the local fan base and engagement and also the attendance.
All right, next we're going to talk to you about atmosphere for a minute. From the ticket gate to their seat and back again, fan base satisfaction is paramount. As fans enter, they are met by photos and memorabilia depicting team history and accomplishments. Kind of helps them escape their current reality and sort of live in the moment. Strategically placed at flow points within the stadium are concessions, some serving local eats from Jacksonville, which Sarah just mentioned. And for guests 21 plus, most concessions are going to sell alcohol. And then in that adult section on the south end of the stadium, they have a full top shelf bar. Responsibilities. So to provide a clean and safe environment for fans and guests alike. So maintaining maintenance and custodian crews are going to need to effectively and consistently keep the stadium free of debris. That's a no-brainer. No trash overflowing, nothing on the ground, stuff like that, just to keep it clean and comfortable for everybody. You got to ensure security utilizes de-escalation to maintain a peaceful environment. Any kind of violence at all is going to be a real problem for sales. And then you were going to want to deploy specifically trained foot mobile employees to address customer concerns. Should never have a fan or a guest or looking for somebody to ask a question or address a problem. And then constant engagement of guests through audio and visual stimuli keeps them entirely in the moment. So that's music, Jumbotron, fan cam, posters, banners, stuff like that. Some places might even go as far as to pump scents into the air to kind of bring on a feeling of longing for fans.
So now we're going to talk about the profitability analysis. As the case stated, ticket sales have averaged less than 90%, and this does not reflect attendance numbers, which would be presumably less. So the ticket sales number needs to improve to a 95 to 100%. Our recommendations would appeal to a wider audience, drawing a larger crowd. And then the next focus would be on retention rates. How can we keep the fans to keep coming back? And by drawing a new segment of fans and giving them that top level experience with added amenities will keep returning customers, creating recurring profits. Sorry, this is me. Now this is a breakdown of the cost. In a grand total, it would be $315,550. Now that's an estimated budget based on the cost of turf and other materials. And what's important to look at is the quick turnaround on return of investment. So if you just increase a ticket price by $5, you would only have to sell 63,110 tickets to cover the cost of the fully immersive experience. That's less than one game. TIA, a bank field or bank stadium, holds 67,164 fans. So within one game, the fully immersive experience would be paid off.
Okay, so strategy implementations. Recommendations, we're going to focus growth efforts on creating a positive and lasting fan experience. Any guest, fan or not, is going to need to leave the stadium wanting more. You're going to start the Jaguars fan app development for fan involvement and ease of info. You can start interviewing contractors for installation of the immersive experience. Once you vet contractors, you can start accepting bids from the qualified contractors. And of course, you're going to want to plan any structural changes to the stadium to be done in the off season. Actions taken. Can we pull that up on the screen? Actions taken. Allocate the necessary direct resources to growth strategy. So that's going to be from the budget or from the employee pool. Employ managerial staff to perform new hires and ensure deadlines are met. That's a mid-level manager. And then finally, you can begin your advertisement campaign geared towards your new target market in Jacksonville.
Okay, so for our timeline, we decided that we initially wanted to focus on creating a more immersive experience and increase our fan engagement. And we felt this would be best done by implementing the Kids Zone first. That way, it would leave a lasting impression on the parents who are current fans and the kids who are going to be future fans. This aids in our recommendation to create a fully immersive experience. Next, we wanted to work on incorporating the high school's marching bands. We believe this is another key part of fan satisfaction. And we felt that allowing local high schools marching bands to perform during halftime shows would really draw in local community members. Third, we decided that that designing an app to help fans track the development of the team, as well as incorporate an interactive display of the stadium, would increase engagement across all fan types. And this aids in our recommendation to create a fully immersive experience. And then lastly, we wanted to touch on the sports gambling facilities. So we believe that these would take the longest amount of time to create and build and implement, and so therefore be the last one to do. We wanted to factor in the time it would take to obtain specific legal documents, such as gambling licenses, and this aids in our recommendation to create a strong atmosphere.
Okay, so next I want to talk to you about an opportunity for growth. Carmela was just touching on synergy with online gambling. So in May 2021, Florida effectively legalized sports betting, and ever since, the market for sports betting has been swelling with anticipation. You couple that with the fact that there are only 2 major casinos in Florida, both of which are over 300 miles from Jacksonville, and you have yourself a real opportunity for growth. If you collaborate with online and in-person gambling services, you can create value in the form of in-stadium betting or online betting for anybody within the confines of the stadium.
So another opportunity for growth was streaming. We believed that utilizing streaming services such as Hulu or ESPN would help target those individuals who are immunocompromised or don't feel comfortable in stadiums due to COVID-19. We also felt that it would help those fans who just don't reside in Jacksonville or who are out of state. Providing an online streaming service for games would also really help with road equity, as those fans who don't live in the Jacksonville area or out of state would probably be more interested in coming to away games if they were able to also follow along on a streaming service. Additionally, we thought it would touch upon social equity, as those fans would be able to then utilize the Jaguar app to track certain players' statistics, even though they weren't in the stadium, which we felt was something that was kind of lacking if you were watching just on a regular channel.
With all the challenges faced within the past 5 years, we believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars should target families, millennials, and the old and new fans. We also suggest that they work to create a fully immersive experience, incorporate high schools and create a new and more modernized atmosphere to spark new growth. Some further